Hi, I'm Carrie Murphy, and welcome to Inspired Living TV. Have you ever experienced a time in your life where everything around you seems to be crashing? You're asking yourself questions like, why me? And what did I do to deserve this? At that moment, you really have two choices. You can be a victim, or you can decide to rewrite the story of your life. And that is exactly what my guest did. After losing a son at childbirth, going through divorce, and realizing she only had $47 to her name, Danette May decided to rise. She is now America's leading health expert, founder of Mindful Health and the Rise Movement, a best-selling author, wife, mother, and she has built a multi-million-dollar brand. And in this interview, she's going to tell you how she did it. Danette, thank you so much for being here. I've been dying to get you on ILTV, so I'm so excited. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, and I'm excited to be here. And just sharing, and I already feel the vibe with you, and it's so fun to bring people into this space anyway.
I know, I love it. And your story is really remarkable. I mean, losing a son at childbirth, having a daughter of my own, I can't even imagine what that was like, never mind going through a divorce and having only $47 to your, I mean, was that for real? You had $47?
Yeah, there's a story to that 47, but yes.
Okay, so before we go on to all the amazing things that you're now accomplishing, let's go back. Where were you? And what made you at that moment go, I'm gonna rewrite this?
Yeah, here's the deal. I think everyone has refiner fires, refiner moments. Where we have our opportunity to grow. And it's in that pain, we call it shadows, we call it pain, we call it the fall, we call it all different things.
Right.
And
hell on earth, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And for me, I found there was a series that was happening. And now that I'm outside of it, I know it's all part of the growth opportunity and the character sifting that needed to take place, because I was on cruise control in my life. Nothing was really wrong, but everything was wrong. Can you understand that?
I can so
You're just
understand
not really listening to your
Yeah.
soul too much, because if you listen to your soul, everything has to change.
And that's very scary.
It is scary.
Yes.
From the person you chose to marry, to where you're living, to what you're driving, to the words you're speaking, the people you're keeping company with, everything. So I found myself, my son passed away, and it's in my book, so I'm not going to get into too much detail because I really don't want to cry. But he passed away, and I don't blame myself anymore. But I was so not tuned into listening to the inner knowings. So I knew something was wrong. But then if you are not listening, you're not listening to those inner knowings, which I wasn't, because that meant everything would have to change. I just ignored it. Oh, I'm being paranoid, all those things that you do to justify the truth that's trying to bubble up.
Right.
And long story short, my son passed away, and I'm left in a whole new world of depression, not knowing how to navigate this depression. And also that fall made me start to look at things differently. And that's our opportunity, right?
Yes.
I didn't know it was an opportunity at the time. It just felt ugly, messy, dirty.
And you had a lot of guilt around that time too?
Yeah, guilt, but also just recognizing and seeing things differently, because you're in a different vantage point, right?
Sure.
I was down, and I was noticing things in my relationship that I was like, whoa, I'm just not even willing to look at the truth of this. But now I'm in my fall. I don't even care anymore, right?
Yeah.
That's your gift. You don't end up caring anymore. All these things that you've been layering on you just kind of get stripped. And the truth started coming out about my ex, and I wanted a separation, and he was upset about the separation, and there was other things going on without damaging his character, because there's been complete forgiveness, and this is part of the rise. This is part of the journey that we all get to go on, because we're going to have people that are hurting us, pain in our lives, betrayal, rejection, and to truly rise into our fullest expression, there comes a time when we truly need to forgive ourselves, other people. And that doesn't always happen right away, and
that
definitely
can take time.
That takes time. But he drained all the accounts, and I found out after buying groceries with my 2 little girls, and I'm swiping the credit cards, none of them are working, and I'm embarrassed. I have to leave the groceries. I run to the bank, and I put my little girls over by the coffee chocolate station, trying to smile.
There you go, girls. Yeah.
You know how you're you know something's wrong, but you're I just have to let them know everything.
Yes.
I don't want them to see through this. And I was sitting down with the teller, and she was like, everything's gone.
Oh my gosh.
Your accounts are zeroed out. Your children's savings greens are zeroed out. And it was one of those moments of just kind of going, what do I do? Like, there's no way to get it back. I don't really know what to do. But what's worse than okay, so we went home and I made a game up. This is where the $47
Without the groceries.
Yeah, oh
yes,
yeah.
Without the groceries.
And the little girl, my youngest is like 2.5 around this time, and she's like, I'm hungry, like in perfect timing to where I'm like, like
Right,
what,
just
okay,
the
we have just a
dagger.
few
Yeah.
things in the house. Of course we have a few things we can get by, but I'm like, we're gonna play a game. We're gonna look through all the cushions, we're gonna look through all the drawers and see how much money we can find.
Right.
And that's where we came up with the $47.63.
Wow, Danette, that is some story.
Yeah, so that was my fall. That was my fall. And what's worse, I always tell this to people, is worse than sleeping on the floor, because I sold my furniture. We had, tinfoil holding it up an antenna to try to get Curious George. So I at least had something for them. But what's worse than that? Because I don't really even think $47 is that bad. And I actually really even don't think losing your son is that bad. But what's really bad is feeling like you're not enough. Feeling like you're a joke, feeling like you have no connection to anyone, like you're not going to be anything.
Right.
Those feelings and those thoughts that are raging is the absolute downfall for each human.
Yeah.
And that's where I was, and that to me is the saddest part of all of it.
Yeah.
And
there's so many people that feel that way, and it's devastating. And so you're here and you're at this moment, Danette, like, good God, I'm dying. Like, what did you do? Like, what was that next step for you?
Well, what I want to tell everyone is I think everyone thinks that there's just this moment where you're like, I'm going to change my life. And
The clouds part and the sprinkle dust comes in.
Yeah, and I want to be so real. There's a gap. There's a gap between where I am today and where I was. And this gap is everyone's choice. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to look rosy, and it's not going to look like this steady climb. It may for some, but I'm not going to project. But for me, this gap,
Let's say for most, yes,
was a roller coaster. And it was a daily choice to do simple choices each day. And I call them small hinge movements. I love this quote, small hinges move big doors. Because the hinges on the door, this huge grand doorway gets opened through these small little hinges. And I decided that I was gonna do 3 things each day. And I didn't think of them myself. I literally pulled up on my phone and typed in YouTube, inspiration, motivation, and like people like Jack Canfield, Tony Robbins, these guys pull up, right?
So
Wayne
you
Dyer.
were watching videos.
I was watching
right?
videos, just like you are. Totally, I was watching
Powerful,
videos. Yeah, that's exactly what was happening.
Yeah.
And they were my mentors. I didn't have money to go to a mentor thing, so I was watching people like you, absolutely, that are willing to put out free content on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing. And they all had the same theme, right? Like, say your affirmation, visualize.
Yeah.
And for me, I had a fitness and nutrition background, so I knew that I needed to start, and it was over time. Like, I was playing around with superfoods and watching it help me get more energy, and also just kind of feeling different in my spirit too. And then I obviously was moving every day, but I was moving from a space of healing, not a space of I need to look beautiful, I need to fit into these jeans, but truly stepping in and seeing the truth of the power of movement. And those were my 3
so good.
things.
I feel like if we do anything for vanity reasons, like, they're always short-lived. It's like we might jump on a treadmill because we want to lose weight, and that's great, but then if we don't understand the intrinsic, real, deep reason for mindfulness and eating healthy and all those things that you stand for, it's fleeting. It's not sustained over time.
Yeah, I do think, though, if you say, like, you just go into exercise because you want to look better,
Right.
It's inevitable. You are going to feel a transformation in the spirit. You can't be working the body and not feel it in your soul.
Yeah.
Right?
That's good. That's true. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I see this, and that was what's happening with me, is like, you can do this because you want to feel better, you want to look better, but you're like literally sweeping out the cobwebs of your soul. There's no way around it. The movement is the sweeper outer. It makes you get real, it makes you emotional, it makes you look at things differently, it makes you feel more like strength, power within yourself.
I love that. It's so true.
Yeah.
So Danette, you talk about these 3 pillars and these 3 things that you do and that you decide to do every day. What were they?
Well, they were these. It was movement, the non-negotiable, moving every day. And moving that lit me up. So we hear about movement, right? And we're like, oh, it has to be CrossFit, it has to be Pilates, it has to be yoga.
Right.
And that's all made up. It's whatever lights you up. It might be hiking, it might be biking, it might be swimming, it might be dancing. I don't know. And so I chose to do something every single day, and that would light me up, give me energy. And anyone who has the excuse of, oh, I'm not gonna have enough, I don't have enough energy, I'm so tired, I can't move, I can't work out today.
You need it the most.
You need it the most. Just like the people that are like, I can't meditate.
Yes.
I don't have time for meditation.
You need it the most. Yes.
So that was one, and then healing foods. It's one of my passions.
Tell us a little bit about that.
There are foods that we are so lucky to get. Every one of us have access to them, and there's what I call superfoods. And these foods will give you energy, but to make it really simple, so we're not going into superfoods, is that anything that's living could be quantified as a superfood. So I want to go that simple. So every day I'm going to get something living, something green, something vibrant that's living in my system. And when you make that intention, it can really help feed other intentions of getting more and more healing foods inside of you.
It's good. So just one living thing a day. Yeah.
Don't worry about all the rest. Just do that and do it at the beginning of the day, and it will be like the cyclical effect of you attracting more goodness and wanting more.
Yeah. So great. Okay, and what was the other one?
Was mindset.
Mindset.
And it wasn't like I was going to be like, oh, I'm happy, or I'm going to just meditate.
I'm going to will myself to happiness today.
And it wasn't even sitting in 20 minutes of meditation, because I think that's made up as well. I took a day, well, it wasn't even a day, but I really wrote out a page and a half of all the things I wanted to create within myself. Really, they felt like lies. Like, I'm a good mother, I'm a financial success, I'm significant, I'm powerful, I'm smart, I'm beautiful, all these things, right? A page and a half, and I put the I am in front of it.
Right, that's what makes it so powerful.
Yes, and I decided and committed that every time I felt low, every time I felt like I wasn't worthy, I was getting in my head about ruining my children's future, ruining my future, being insignificant, not being enough, I committed that in those moments I would take out that paper and read it. And there were many days it was like every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But I was so committed because everyone had said that's the key, that's the ticket.
Yeah.
And truly it is. Like, I wrote it down, and I still have that 1.5 page paper in my little 4-square.
I love that.
And I read it all the time.
So that is part of what we'd love for you to take away from this interview, is write your powerful I am statement below, because when you claim it and you read it and you say it out loud, like, everything inside of you starts to configure to make that happen. And Danette, I mean, really what you have created, the Rise movement, mindful health, international best-selling author. I mean, it's just your new book, The Rise, which I can't wait to talk about here in a minute. Like, it really is one of those, overnight success stories that was probably nowhere close to an overnight success story.
I think, we get asked to speak a lot, me and my now husband, because I also attracted that. Yay! People have us speak a lot because the story is that they say is $47 to 8-figure business in 5 years. Like, how did you do this?
Right.
And it truly, it's not easy. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it really is doing that deep inner work. Like, if I go speak to all these entrepreneurs, which I get asked, I think they want to hear, like, what's that sales funnel that you use?
What was the system?
Right? And I'm like, I'm here to tell you, like, the sales funnel will change by next week. There'll be a better sales funnel.
Truth? Yeah.
And there'll be another system. But one thing that I know is going to take me even to the next level, and what has taken me to this level, is truly stepping into more love for myself, looking at the shadow, loving the shadow, doing the work of saying, what is all the dimensions of who I am? Like I'm a fierce businesswoman, but I'm also super insecure.
Yeah.
I am, I'm a financial success, but I am deep down like a country girl that's totally cool with camping, like, right? Like I'm all of it.
Yeah.
I'm all of it. And
Yeah.
can I love all of this that's inside of me? And I believe we're all of it. And I know when I've stepped more into my love of myself and I've done that work, that's catapulted the business. That's what's made all the difference. And I believe will make all the difference to come.
I mean, I just want to say thank you for the reminder. Thank you for helping all of us go back to that intention of realizing, it's not about another sales funnel. It's not about more Facebook ads. It's not about building a bigger team. It's got to start with you. Mm-hmm. And everything that you think is just a reflection of everything that you create. So if you don't love yourself, if you don't love all facets of yourself,
yes,
right, you can only really get to a certain level.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's like in the morning, before you start your day, before you say, what do I need to do next? What launch am I doing this week? You're taking that time.
You're breathing the truth into your soul. Like you are powerful. You are a financial success. You have all the information you need in your DNA. Like we are more powerful than we even realize.
Absolutely.
And if you can declare that, and I did it in front of a mirror. We've heard of mirror work. We hear of this stuff. I did that often, crying eye to eye. I still do it every single day because I know whatever I speak will manifest.
Yes.
And it's true. And even though you feel like a liar, like we feel like a liar at the beginning, because I was like,
that imposter syndrome is real
I'm
true,
financially
right?
successful. I'm like rubbing pennies together. But the truth is I am financially successful.
Yeah.
I already am. And so it's just manifesting the truth of what already is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have everything we need, right, within us. I always say no one's born with a success gene. You don't wake up one day and say, you're going to be successful. Not so much, right? We all have the ability, yet so few of us understand how to foster and really create that. And Danette, oh my God, I just am so in love with you and your story, and I could literally talk to you all day. Tell us a little bit about the book that's coming out.
Oh, well, I'm going to do the behind the scenes.
Yes, we love behind the scenes.
I feel like
yes.
If I was listening, I'd want behind the scenes. So this is something that I feel like I manifested. I don't know why I'm feeling like I should share this. I actually have not shared this with anyone. So I've always, one of my dreams or one of my calls that I felt was like to have a book with Hay House, because Hay House authors were the ones who helped me rise. Right. So that was just internally in me. I never said it to maybe a couple people. And about 3 years ago, because I had a PR firm, I got a conversation with Hay House, one of their agents people, and they wanted one of my other books for like maybe 1/8 of what I got for this book, right? And it was like, oh, that feels really good. I want to be with Hay House. This is a dream, but I knew this wasn't the book. And I knew because it was like my Bikini Body Recipes book. I was like, no.
You've come a long way from Bikini Body Recipes book.
I was like, no, I know it. And that is the journey, is going, when you have something come at you that still feels really good and your ego's like, yeah, but your soul's like, it's not right. I said no.
That is really juicy right there, by the way, because I think you get opportunities and it can look so shiny and attractive.
Your ego's like,
yeah.
But your soul's like,
no, not time.
Yeah, and I remember I turned it away and I was like, ugh, like what's, and there's moments when you're like, oh, I know my dream, but it's just not manifesting. And I know a lot of people be like, come on, Danette, 5 years is pretty amazing. But there were days, and that's the truth. Like, it doesn't matter how fast it looks for someone else or how slow it looks. It's happening. You're never broken. Energy's never stopped. And so it was always happening. It just some days I was just in my lower vibration of like, it's not fast enough. Right. And, I've always felt this called for this book. And Hay House literally got on a call, called me, said, we would like to Tracy, the CEO of Hay House, would like to meet with you. And I was like, well, I'm filming in La Jolla. And he was like, he'll come and meet you. We were sitting on this deck overlooking the ocean, and we just were talking about personal things. And he was like, I'd like to give you a book deal. Do you know what you'd want to write about? And I was like, well, I think I want to write about my 6-week coaching program. And that was really what I thought would be the most beneficial to people, like this, and it's a beneficial program.
Sure.
But then I was ready to like turn in what I was gonna write and tell them everything, and I literally got this impression that, no, Danette, like all those stories that you're trying to hide behind, all those things that you tell a lot of your stories, but there are some that you're so afraid you're gonna be judged on, you're supposed to write about that. And you need to just share the whole mud and muck, even the good ones, even like the highs that you're afraid to even be too shiny.
Right.
And they luckily were like, you write whatever you want to write. And it was just this, and they also said to do it in 6 weeks. They fast-tracked it, which they rarely do.
Wow, that's
and
amazing.
Yeah, that was an unusual experience.
Yeah.
But that's really what's come of the book, is so in my process of writing, even though I've known it's the right thing to do, I've had so many nights where I've been terrified to share these stories. And my intention, even though I'm terrified, was that if I'm willing to get vulnerable and I'm willing to stand on top of my stories and rise within those stories, that I'm going to give permission for others to do the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my! I feel like I have like a kindred sister over here.
We are.
We are. You know, I always say when you're inspired, you inspire others. Like when you are vulnerable and you share those stories that you hold so close to the chest and you're so scared to do, like you allow other people to let go of shame and guilt and all those things. And I also love, she said, you know, being too shiny. You know, I think that's something that
we're also afraid of.
We're also afraid of. It's like, oh, you know, I can't be too good. I can't share the really highs because then, you know, that's all ego and it's too shiny and all that. You know, so it's so interesting in the paradigm, and I really can't wait to read your book. Thank you. I'm so excited, and I appreciate you and your vulnerability, and you know, you have done so much in 5 years, and although I'm sure the success is wonderful, I'm sure it's the inner work that has really transformed everything. You know? And I know you have an event coming up, and just the lives that you're changing, Danette. I know for all of us, we say thank you. You know, thank you for allowing us to get a sneak peek into the gritty. You know,
into the gritty.
I
told you that you were gritty.
Said I was gritty.
I like gritty girls. I like gritty humans.
We like it. We like it. So if people want to connect with you, they want to get the book, they want to learn more, please tell them how.
Well, to get the book, you just go to my website and you'll see it everywhere. And
which we'll have the link right here.
I do want to say the book obviously comes in bookstores a little later than when probably you're watching this, but I feel like I've created even more value in all the pre-bonuses because I truly care about people rising into their fullest expression. So the bonuses probably are worth way more than even the book, but I want it to be that way because sometimes when you pre-order, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to wait till they get this book. Well, right away you're going to get the growth and the coaching and the different insights to the book before anyone else. So people can go, to
pre-order
the website at DanetteMay.com. And the event is called The Rise as well.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that I felt like I was asked to do that I never wanted to do and has terrified me and has been way out of my wheelhouse, but luckily I have an amazing team helping. But it has been so amazing because all these women from around the world have felt the call. Like it's not about me, like they are all feeling the call.
It really is the rise. I feel it, I see it, and you know, you're such a great example of that and bringing women together. Like you don't have to do it on your own. You don't have to sit there and sit in the mire and sit in the ick of it. Like you could find other women that are right where you are, have been where you are, can help you rise up and step into that next version of yourself. And like, I
love you say that next version because we're so afraid to really unleash the truest colors, the truest vibrations of who we are. And like, can we give ourselves permission?
Yes.
And can we just like love Carrie because she's gorgeous and she's beautiful and it doesn't take anything away from you, right?
Yeah.
Love
and vice versa.
Love us in our shinies, right?
Love us in our shinies. Gritty and shiny. I'm so in love. Danette, thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much for taking the time to sit down with me and to share your incredible message with the Inspired Living community.
It's been an honor. Like, I love you.
I love you
I'm
too.
so excited
Yay.
for what you're putting out into the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this ILTV interview. We would love to hear from you. What was your takeaway? And most importantly, post that I am statement, because when you can believe in all those things that's possible for you, they happen. They happen. So get in front of that mirror and start with I am and post it below. And then again, please share this because when you are inspired, you inspire others. And that is what's going to change the world. As always, remember to keep dreaming it, living it, and being it. Until next time.